Hey Mixers, welcome back into another WNBA player props video. We didn't have any games on Saturday, so I had a family activity, so I was busy most of the day. I do have a splitting headache, and I have taken some medicine for it, but bear with me in case I need to take some breaks or say anything stupid. First, we need to give away some money. We had a great day the other day. It was almost an incredible day, so we'll review that. But first, we'll give away some money, and then we'll get into some player props that I have for Sunday. All right, we actually only had one person who got their picks correct, and that was Lady Devils, so over 172.5. That was for, I think, the Fever game. Now I can't remember, but we'll see it in a second. And then Brittany Sykes over her PRA. So please email me at elixirmixersllc@gmail.com, and I will get you hooked up. Okay, getting into the review of the game picks, we actually had a great week, couple of days, actually 2 days, on the money lines. And then we went 3-3 on the spreads. And then we went 6-2 on the totals. So that is starting to bring our statistics up quite a bit. The money lines are over 50%. However, that should be closer to 60%, just because obviously most of the time you're going to choose the heavy favorite to win. Not necessarily always, but it should be closer to 60% is all I'm saying for the money lines. All right, and then the best bets for 2 days ago. Jess Shepard only had 7 points. That was obviously a miserable game for them. I don't know that she could have or would have got there. She didn't have the usage. She was passing the ball off quite a lot, usually to Alana Smith for the corner three. And that didn't really work out for them. And then Astier over 21.5 PRA. Great call. She had 25 PRA in 22 minutes played. So just imagine, like, Benijah Laney-Hamilton's going to lose her starting job. Then their starting lineup is going to be Astier at guard and Sabrina, Satu Sabali at forward, and Stewie, and then Jonquel Jones. And backing them up, Maureen Johannes, Julie Van Loo, if she's still on the team. This team's lethal, you guys. This team is lethal. And so keep that in mind, even though they've had an embarrassing loss against the Fire. And then Olivia Miles over 6.5 assists. She just decided to hook us with exactly 6, which was a little bit frustrating. There were a couple of times that she would have had an assist, I think twice, on a play that was whistled dead, unfortunately. So, yeah, that unfortunately we just missed 2 out of the 3 of those. And then the game bets, though, the other day went great. They were all on the Lynx game. So we got Lynx on the money line, and then we got, obviously, Lynx plus 2.5. And then we got the under 177.5 as well. I also bet the Lynx live. I think I got plus 6.5 on them live because Dallas was beating them up early on. So we have almost dug ourselves out of the moneyline hole of betting those moneyline underdogs since the beginning of the season. We're only down 0.93 units now. The totals were at 60% and the spreads were at 75%. So, I mean, we've been doing great on the game bets and totals that we actually put our money on. But those are small numbers, so they're going to change dramatically, when we have different results coming in. Okay, yesterday, I gave you Caitlin over 2.5 3-pointers, and we laddered that up. So we also took 2 bonus bets on Caitlin over 3.5 and over 4.5. And my prices were 140 and plus 300. That's what I was able to get. On a traditional sports pick, you probably could have done a little bit better for those numbers, and we could have laddered it even higher. And then Brittany Sykes over 23.5 PRA. She had 38. I just told you Marina Mabry wasn't going to have a good day, and that Brittany Sykes was going to be the one. And then the Georgia Amore and Derica Hamby both hooked us, and same with Jewel Lloyd-Arlene. So all those players just missed by 1. And for Georgia Amore, that one was really frustrating because there was twice that her plays were also whistled dead on an assist, and once that should have been an assist, but they didn't count it. So I'm assuming they know the rules better than I do, but it seemed like an assist to me. And then Derica Hamby just didn't get there on the rebounds, just missed by 1. And Jewel Lloyd only took three shots, made one of them. And I figured that game would be a little bit closer than the first game, which was the case. And Jewel Lloyd her usage didn't really change from game 1 to game 2. Which I was expecting her to have a little bit more of a role, and that just did not happen. And we did get our Kiki Iriff and double-double, so we are doing extremely well on the bonus bets, the plus money plays. We've hit 60% of them. We're up 2.31 units, and that's betting half units and quarter units. Our best bets are almost to 50%, which is the goal. I did want to show you this ladder on Caitlin because I wanted to show you how you play a ladder. At least this is how I play ladders a lot of the time. So you're generally going to put down 3 units. In this case, we put 2.75 units down. So you put 2 units down on the like a minus 200 bet. That will earn you a unit back, which will cover all the plus money bets if they lose. And then the normal line, you put a unit there, and that one's just like, it would be as if you're not playing the ladder. So you're just betting the normal line, win or lose. And then the plus money plays, like I said, if they lose, then they're covered by the lower bet if it hits, obviously. And if they hit, then obviously you're making money, which is what happened this time. We ended up just making money. And we could have added one more rung. That would have been exactly 3 units, and that's what I will usually do, but it just depends on the play. And I wasn't willing to take it higher than that, but it did work. I was dropping a lot of F-bombs on Twitter because I was mad. She had 2 in the first quarter, nothing in the second, nothing in the third, and then bam, 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 just started raining 3s in the fourth quarter. So we got there. Okay, the game bets, we also hit both of the game bets. So, I mean, we had an incredible day the other day. Washington and the Fever game went over 172.5. They hit 178 in regulation, but they went to overtime and hit 206. And then the Chicago and Phoenix game, which I added in the pinned comment, over 166.5. That one ended at 174. We're doing great on our totals and spreads, like I pointed out earlier. Too bad I don't have any for you today. You're actually going to be frustrated with me today because there's 4 games and I don't have that many plays for you. But the lines have gotten really tight. The books have adjusted on these totals and spreads, and I think that they really put out good lines. So there's really not a lot to attack here. So the Aces are playing the Dream. Now, the Aces have played like 4 games now and are on a crazy travel schedule where they already played a back-to-back. They traveled cross coast. Not necessarily in one day, but they traveled from California to Arizona and then all the way to Connecticut, played a couple games there. Now they're back down in Atlanta. Whereas the Dream have only played 2 games. Now they've been against tough teams, but they've only played 2 games. So they should be a little bit more rested, a little bit more refreshed, but they are missing Ryan Howard. So I'm leaning towards the Dream. So Dream on the money line, Dream plus 1.5. They were the favorites before Ryan Howard was ruled out, by the way. And then the under 171.5 because I think defense does win out in this one. I think the Aces could beat the Dream, you guys. So I'm not saying that I don't think they can. I think they can. I'm just going to lean with the Dream, who's only played 2 games. They're much more rested. They're at home. Even though they're down a player, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. So that's what I'm doing. And I am betting this money line, but I'm not giving it out as a channel bet. And then I'll try to get plus money on the Aces to get a guaranteed profit there. So I think I got 115 on the Dream, plus 115, something like that. Now, the Aces have been scoring 92.5 points per game in 2026, but that is 2 big, huge blowout games. 1 blowout loss, 1 blowout win. And so I guess you can kind of average those, I suppose, but they kind of also blew out the Sparks. So in competitive games, that is going to be a little bit lower, maybe closer to 85. And then the Dream have been scoring about 85 as well this year, and same as last year. So I do think they can combine for like a 165 to 175 number. So I think the books gave us a good line, and that's why I'm not playing it here. If this had come out, like, the books probably should have put out a line like 177.5, and I would take the under there as well. But now they're giving us a correct line. So if you want to bet over, go ahead. I'm not betting either way, but I'm leaning to the under. All right, the Storm traveling to the Fever. The Damalanga is out, and so the Fever have a 10.5 point spread. I am going to go ahead and lean towards the Fever on the money line and the spread. They got their mojo back at home. They always play better at home, and they're just staying home back to back, basically, with the day in between, and taking on one of the worst teams in the league, minus their best player. So I'm going to go with the under, 176.5, Fever on everything. And we are going to have some plays on some Storm players, though. So, yeah, let's get into that here in a minute. The Sky at the Lynx. Both of these teams have played 3 games. They're both 2-1. The Lynx are 3-0 ATS. The Sky are 2-1 ATS. So these are 2 of the best covering teams in the league right now. And the Lynx are straight up basically one of the best teams in the league right now because they're 3-0, just according to their record. So they're about to play each other 3 times in 5 games back. So they're going to play each other in the next 5 games. They're playing each other 3 times, including this game. So consider that, I guess. They're going to be able to make some adjustments there. Skylar Diggins is questionable, so she may not be playing. And then they both already played the Mercury. The Lynx beat the Mercury in Arizona. The Sky lost to the Mercury in Arizona. So you would think that that leads to the Lynx winning at home against the Sky. And that is what I will put on the money line. But I am going to still take the Sky on the spread 4.5. Now, they should be giving us a bigger number here, like 6.5, because of what I just said. The Lynx beat the Mercury, and then the Sky lost to the Mercury right in a row. So they should be giving us like a 6.5 number, so it's not really fair. But the Lynx are down. I forgot her name, you guys, but they're down their center, basically, who got hurt and left the game early in the last game, and now she's going to be out for this one. So even though they were already weak in the paint, now they're even weaker in the paint. And the Sky should be able to capitalize on that with Camila Cardoso, who will be the tallest player on the court. So I don't know. I think she's going to have a good game, is all I'm saying. So I'm going to take the over, actually, because I think this is going to be a boat race. Like, I don't think a lot of good defense is going to be played here. And if it is, it will be probably played by the Sky. And so Sky to cover, over the 169.5, and then the Lynx somehow pull out a win. Okay, the Toronto Tempo at the Sparks. Now, they just played, and they're playing again. So we should see, I don't know, you would think you'd see a similar game. They just scored 194 combined points. I don't think that's going to be happening again, but I think it will still be high. So I'm going to say over 173.5. I kind of see this as a blowout where the Sparks pour it on, but that is what I thought would happen in the first game, and that isn't what happened. So the Sparks didn't play very good defense. However, the Tempo have Julie Allemand as a game-time decision. Tammy Fag-Bentley is questionable. Izzy Harrison is a game-time decision as well. And then on the Sparks side, Ariel Atkins is still a game-time decision. So if Ariel Atkins comes back and plays this game, I do think it's going to be a Sparks blowout. And I do think they could probably still get over the number because the Sparks are going to lay it on, I think. So Sparks money line, Sparks minus 7.5. I will lean towards the over. No bet for me officially, but that is what I'm going with. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take the under on Marina. I did not do that in the last game, even though I figured she would have a bad game. But I didn't think she'd have this bad of a game. Now, she only played 21 minutes and had 9 PRA. So obviously it was terrible. She's not even close to this number. But she also didn't play a full game. So if she played 30 minutes, if it was competitive and she played 30 minutes and like half her shots were falling, she probably would have got at least to like, I don't know, 22 or 23 PRA. So I think even if she has a good game like that, she still isn't going to be able to go over this number. She did hit against the Mystics, which was impressive. She was the only one for her team that could score in that game. And then she hit it again against the Storm and killed it. But the Storm are a weak team. And this Sparks team is not. Okay, I know that they looked really bad against the Aces. And they looked pretty bad against the Fever too, I'm not going to lie. And it's going to take some time for this team to gel, but they are above the Mystics and the Storm, in my opinion. Also, they did a great job guarding Marina. So if they take her out of the rotation, only give her 20 to 25 minutes again, she's probably not going to get here. And even if she plays 30, I think she still could go under. So I'm going to go ahead and go in on it. Jade Melbourne, probably my best favorite play of the day. I mean, someone's going to have to score for this Storm team, and Jade Melbourne has already crushed this line 3 times, so I don't understand why we're getting it at 9.5. She's already over it 3 times. Now Dom Malonga's not there. She's going to have even more opportunities to score. She likes to score. She likes to drive. So, yeah, I think she gets here no problem. And then we're going to take that up. We're not going to do a full ladder on Jade, but we'll take it up one more step for a bonus bet over 11.5 points. And I think I put the price on the last screen that I got, but I think it was 155. Plus 155 is what I got for plus 11.5. And I would probably have taken it to 12.5, but I just didn't see that as an option. So I just took the 11.5 I was being offered. My next best bet is Courtney Williams over 3.5 quarter 1 points. She's done this 75% of the time in home games without Nafisa Collier, and 2 out of the 3 games so far this season. Now, one thing, I did tweet this out on X right when I put it in, but when I was going to start filming this video, I saw it had already dropped. So it is no longer available at an even payout, at least what I've seen. So if you can find it, awesome. If not, I think it is available at 4 flat on PrizePicks. And if you wanted to play that, I think you could. I think Courtney's going to try to set the tone early and score a couple times just to get their team, ahead and get them started, basically. So I think she's good for 4 to 6 points in the first quarter, somewhere in there. And so I'll be going in on that. Okay, I have a lean for Caitlin over 8.5 assists because they're dropping her assist line, so I'll take advantage of that. She's over in 57% of the last 21 games. That jumps to 62% in the last 21 home games. And they're going up against the Seattle Storm, where she should be able to get whatever she wants. So if she's taking threes, if she's driving, if she's assisting, whatever Caitlin wants, she's going to be able to get in this game. And I just don't know if she even stays on the court long enough to get these assists. So that is my biggest concern, and that is why it's a lean, because they could blow out this Storm team and Caitlin sits, the whole fourth quarter. All right, another bonus bet on Cardoso for a double-double. I got plus 115 on it. She's over in 3 out of 6 head-to-heads from previous seasons. She's only over in 1 out of 3 games this season, and that was the first game, and then she's missed it twice. But she has just a great shot chart, great scoring matchup. This Lynx team is very, very vulnerable in the paint right now, especially with another one of their centers going down and not playing in this game. And Camila Cardoso already was going to be the tallest player on the court. I think she's like 6'6" or 6'7", something like that. She's a giant, and she's going to be the tallest player on the court. So I think she easily can get her shots up. She's probably going to be able to make 5 shots or so, maybe 5 or 6. And then she should be able to get her rebounds as well. So I'll take the double-double, but if you want to take the points or just the rebounds, I think those are probably good as well. I just like the plus money, you guys. You guys know that. All right, Jordan Canada is not getting a line yet, but I want her PRA. So over 20.5 PRA is like what I'm hoping for, I guess. She's been over 21 PRA in 90% of games with Ryan Howard not on the court last season. And so that's all but one. So all but one game that Ryan Howard missed, Jordan Canada was over this line. That's incredible. And so I want to be playing that. Now, if they give this to us at 23.5, I'm going to have to think about it. But 20.5, 21.5, I'm nailing that. And I want to tell you so that if you see that line go up, then you know that I'm jumping on it. And so that you can get on it as well if you want to. So I think it's a good line. She's going to be needed to score since they're down Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray can't do it all. And she'll probably try to and miss a whole lot of shots. And then Jordan Canada is going to have to score. I also like Pow Pow to score. I don't know what her line is going to be, but it's probably going to be 9.5 points. And I don't mind that as either. I haven't really dug as much into it. We'll try to go into her lines in the deep dive here in a minute. But I like her as well. So I like Jordan Canada to have a good prominent role for this game. Here's the summary. We have 3 best bets, 1 player with no lines, 1 lean, and 2 bonus bets. So all of these are at least an even payout or better when I got them. So you can choose 2 out of any of these bets to get in for the cash prize giveaway, like we gave away today. And so just make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and then let me know in the comments which 2 out of these plays you want to be in on for the cash prize giveaway. And if they hit, you'll be on that wheel. And then if you're on mobile, please hit that hype button. I don't know when those were set for the week. But that really does help our videos out. You guys know I never ask you for money, so I appreciate those free little things that you can do for me. We are going to jump into Props Madness and go through the players' lines one by one. And so if you want to join me for that, here we go. All right, starting with that Aces Dream game. So here's Alicia Gray, and I want to put on the home filter because she is much better at home, just so that you guys can see it. So last year, let's see. Well, this is a higher line because Ryan Howard is missing. So let's also take Ryan off the court. I guess we have to take the home filter off because it's too small of a sample size. But it's better at home. 50% at home, 43% away. But she's over in 45.5% of games without Ryan Howard. That's not enough for me to take it, so I'm not interested in Alicia. I think she will get off her shots, though. So let's see. 15. Yeah, 15's probably her low. I'd say she's going to take 15-plus shots. So if you can find field goals attempted, which very few apps give that line out on WNBA players. But if you can find that tomorrow, because you're not going to see it today, but if you see it tomorrow, 15-plus shot attempts for Alicia Gray, that's probably good. All right, assists and rebounds. I don't really want to be too much into this. She's going to shoot, you guys. And I'm expecting her to miss a lot of those shots. So she's going to score, though, at least, I think, 15 points, minimum for her. And so I don't want to be fading her either because she could get to the free throw line a bunch. She could just have a freak game. So I'm not going to fade her, but I'm not going to take her. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously, we're skipping Ryan because she's going to be out. Angel. So Angel was playing on a different team last year. So we mainly want to look at the games she's played this year, which were with Ryan Howard, and she scored 11 and 12 points in those games. She also had 14 and 16 rebounds. So I still think that her points rebounds line, 26.5, is probably pretty good because she already hit it once. And then now without Ryan Howard, she should have a little bit more usage down low. But I expect Naz Hillman to also be taking a few more shots than she's used to as well. So if Asia plays Angel Reese, which I kind of expect to be the case, that's a tough matchup. And I don't know how well Angel will do in that situation. So I'm not running to bet this, but I do think that she's going to have a beat. I think she'll be able to get over this line. So the points rebounds line, 26.5 is what I like. The double-double is minus 260, so that's not worth playing. Like even as a parlay piece, minus 200 is like my cutoff for parlay pieces and things like that, usually. Okay, Jordan Canada, let's see. It looks like we are getting her line now. So 12.5 points is what they have her at. Assists 6.5, rebounds 3.5, and the PRA is 21.5. So yes on Jordan Canada, because if we take out Ryan Howard, she's over 71% of all games over the last 3 years. Just last year, 90%. So, and then let's look at the home games because 67% at home. Well, I guess it's even better on the road, 75%. So it's just good no matter what stat you're looking at here. Without Ryan Howard on the court, Jordan Canada is going to step up. And she is pretty sneaky. So, and also Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young are both really short. So, I mean, she should be able to get by them and take shots off, around them and things like that. So I like Jordan Canada over 21.5 PRA. We're adding that as a best bet. Okay, Naz Hillman over 10.5. I was expecting 9.5, but I think 10.5 is fair, I guess. Last year without Ryan, she didn't play that well, but her usage was also a lot lower. She did play really well at home. So I think it's a fair line. If you want to go in on Naz, then go for it. I would feel better about going in on Naz than going in on Angel, just because Angel has that Asia matchup. But I think Angel's going to have more usage, at least at the beginning of the game, until they have to pivot if they're losing. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, because I have them on the money line. Well, no. I want them to start strong so I can get the aces on the money line. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't mind Naz Hillman. I just like the Jordan Canada bet a lot more. All right, Asia's line, she should be able to hit this. She's hit it 3 times against them last year. She's hit it multiple times before that. So in the last 6 head-to-heads, she's hit this line. So if you want to take her. It's just a high line, so I'm not playing that. And then her rebounds line continues to drop to 8.5. So I don't like that because she's primarily going to be on Angel, and that's going to put her in rebounding position almost the whole game. So don't fade this rebounds line on Asia because she could easily clear it or at least get close to it. So I'm not playing Asia one way or the other. I like playing her first quarter line, but it's 6.5, and that's a lot, so I'll stay off. Jackie Young, I saw this at 16.5, so it must have dropped to 15.5. I don't love it because she's more of a home player, not an away player. And this Dream defense can lock in, especially at home. And so I don't want to touch Jackie and probably none of the aces, to be honest. This rebounds and assist line looks good because Jackie has been rebounding and assisting more than she normally does. So I would like to see that a little bit longer before I'm willing to go in on that. Because Chelsea Gray really should be getting that usage on the assisting especially. Kennedy Carter continues to impress. I told you that you could take her line in the last game. It was at, I think, 12.5 or 11 or 12.5. And she had 18. So, I mean, she just continues to get it done. You could take her if you want. The Dream is the toughest team they've played so far. So just keep that in mind. That includes the Mercury, in my opinion. And so this is the toughest team they've played so far. Chelsea Gray, I think her lines are a little bit high on everything. So I would almost want to take the under here because she doesn't have a good shot matchup above the break here, which is where she takes most of her shots, actually. And then slightly into the mid-range. So I don't really like her. I like Asia and Jackie to get most of the usage. Kennedy Carter to get plenty of usage when she's on the court. If anything, I'd take the assists. Head-to-head against this team looks like she's missed it 4 out of 5 times. She's missed the rebounds 4 out of 5 times. She's missed the points 4 out of 5 times. So it looks good against everyone else. These are also playoff games. Let's look at regular games. I mean, she's done okay in away games, but not great. So I'm just avoiding the aces, I guess. Quickly, Nalissa Smith. I don't think we need to take her points. She's going up against Angel down there. Asia will also be there clogging up that area as well. And yeah, so rebounds 4.5. That does seem too low. So 4.5 rebounds. Okay, it's heavily juiced. That's why. So 5.5 for plus money. I mean, that's not a bad look, I guess, but I don't think we need to be playing that. This was one of the best rebounding teams last year. And now I know they're missing Bree Jones still. And that was part of it. But Ryan can rebound. Alicia can rebound. You know, obviously Angel can rebound. So I'm staying off it. Jewel Lloyd, I don't need to go back in on her right now. But I am going to continue to keep an eye on her. Okay, that's that game. Storm at the Fever. Kelsey Mitchell's line is very high at 21.5. I think she deserves that. She's hit it all 3 times. You know, she should get plenty of transition points in this one. She should get a lot of easy looks from 3. So, personally, don't want to fade that. I would take like a first half line on her, honestly, though. Like a 10.5 first half points. So, she did it in 2 out of the 3 games so far. Didn't do it when the Mystics were playing really well in the second quarter in that game. The Storm are not going to play that well. So, I would feel pretty good about taking Kelsey Mitchell over 10.5 first quarter points, to be honest. All right, Caitlin, her line has come down from 21.5 to 20. I like her the assists, like I mentioned earlier. So over 8.5 assists. Looks like you can get that at plus money. So it's 8 flat on Prize Picks. So let's take it for 8 on Prize Picks right there. That's just a lean. So that's not a best bet because I think this could be a big blowout. I think the books agree. And that Caitlin may not need to play the whole game. And Caitlin has had a lot of injury history, so they're going to want to take her off the court if they're winning. All right, Flau'jae Johnson's line is all the way up at 15.5, which I'm not saying she can't get there. I think she can, but crazy. Why is her line so boosted when everyone else's isn't? Like they haven't moved their lines at all. So Natisha Heidemann, I don't mind taking a shot on her, even though she hasn't been able to get here. And we just cashed her under. But I think you could take a shot on her for the over if you want to. I like Jade because, I mean, she's already been doing it. If you've seen her play, she's aggressive. She drives to the paint. She takes shots. She's not afraid of anybody. So I like Jade, and that's who I'm putting my money on. And then even Steph Dolson, who is the backup center, but who also has been playing on the court with the first team a lot. I think she's going to get her shots as well. So I don't think she's a bad play either. Even the rebounds. So like points, rebounds. Well, I'd stick with points, probably. Yeah, I don't really want to be playing any of these other players on the bench right now. I guess Jordan Horston, well, she hasn't had the usage. She just comes in and assists, really. And not even that well. So, yeah, let's stay off of her as well. Okay, that's it. Sky and the Lynx. So, Kayla McBride here. Let's take a look here without fee. So, I'm going to take Nafisa Collier off. And I'm going to say at home. So without Nafisa Collier at home, she's over 71% of the time. I think you could play her here. She has a decent above the break matchup with the Sky team. That's not where I decided to go, but I don't think it's a bad play. Now, she doesn't really rebound and assist. So if it's going to be her, it's going to be points. So yeah, I think you could take the over 15.5 points. I think that's fine. Even the first quarter points looks fine since they've juiced Courtney's out of existence. Prize Picks is offering this at 3 flat. So you're only asking for 2 buckets. And even if she only gets 1 and it's a 3-pointer, you still push. That's not bad. And then Courtney Williams, you guys know, the full game line does appear to be too high, but I think she's probably good for it, to be honest. PRA, probably good for it. I'm jumping in on the first quarter points line, which, as I already told you, as soon as I started recording this video, I noticed the line that I bet on the app I bet on was no longer available at the price that I paid. So if you can only get this at 4 flat, I still think it's worth playing. You could pivot to Kayla McBride over hers, or over her full game line. I think that's fine. I think Kayla's full game line is fine, honestly. It should be a lean, but we probably won't make it a lean. All right, and then on the other side, let's just look at Nia Coffey really quick. Nia Coffey, 6.5 rebounds. She's been doing it. She's going up against Camila Cardoso. I think she can still do it, but I'm not going in on it. Okay, Rakia Jackson, 18 points seems like a little bit too much, but she's been very effective getting herself to the line. So 8 out of 10, 5 out of 6, 5 out of 6. So, I mean, she's getting herself to that line. And the Lynx have been fouling a lot. So I don't want to fade Rakia, and I don't want to take it because it's too high of a line. If you want to go in on Rakia, then I don't blame you, and I think she'll probably make you happy. All right, Skylar Diggins is questionable. If Skylar Diggins does not play, then I expect Natasha Cloud to come off the bench and basically play the Skylar Diggins role, and I think she can play it pretty much just as good as Skylar. She's not going to put up as many points. She's going to facilitate a little bit more, which leads me to think, Rakia Jackson's going to score a little bit more. Camila Cardoso is going to score a little bit more. If we get official confirmation of this, I will look at the Natasha Cloud lines, and I would probably want the assists. Okay, Camila Cardoso, she has a great under the hoop matchup. Against this team, she has performed basically half and half, but that was with a completely different Sky team behind her and with Angel on the court for some of those. She was able to rebound pretty well. Let me see what she did without Angel. Without Angel, she only played one game, had 10. And so it's hard to judge that because it was only a one-game sample size. But she's had success against this team even with Angel on the court. And that was last year and the year before when they had Alana Smith and Jess Shepard. So I think Camila easily gets her double-double, and I've already played it for plus money. Okay, we aren't getting lines for anybody else in this game, unfortunately, not even like predictions. So that's all we can look at. The tempo and the sparks, I do think Kelsey Plum's points line is too high. This is not her stats. It's not updating. There we go. It's too high. She's done it 3 times in all 3 games so far. So why would she not do it in this game? Well, I just don't think she's going to need to. I expect this to be more of a blowout. I don't dare fade her, but that is where I would lean. She's probably going to take more threes. She's going to take more assists. She won't take as many free throws probably. Yeah, I think I don't want to be on Kelsey Plum. And then NECA and Hamby, their lines have gone up. So I liked the edge we were getting in the first game. I don't as much like the line the way it is now. I think NECA could easily do this, but she could just as easily end at 14 or 12 because she's just not needed to score. I think she's going to take a couple 3-pointers. You could get good plus money for 2 threes. So plus 136 if you want 2 threes. She only took 2 attempts in that last game and 2 attempts in this game, 5 in this game. So she's probably going to take 2 to 5 attempts, and she has to make half of those to go over this line, but it's good plus money and plus 136. I would consider it. First quarter points, I like it. It's heavily juiced, it looks like. Yeah, it's 4 flat on Prize Picks. All right, Hamby. I liked her points in the last game, but we ended up settling on her rebounds. If you watched the video, we were arguing with ourselves about whether we were going to go points rebounds or points or just rebounds. And we ended on just rebounds, and that was the wrong call, obviously, because she got the points and she got the points rebounds line. So again, I am tempted to go in on this 7.5 rebounds line, but I guess she's probably not going to be needed to do it. So points rebounds isn't bad. I think they sit NECA before they sit Hamby just because of age. I mean, they're both in their 30s. First half points, I don't love that, but like, what's first quarter looking like? 4 flat, so same as NECA. Yeah, I think we just have to stay off of the sparks. Erica Wheeler, 9.5 points with a bad shot chart. I obviously want the fade, but she did it in the last game. She shot very efficiently, 50% from 3, 60% from the field. She only took 5 shots and cleared this line because she made them, basically. She made 3 threes and 2 free throws. So I would fade Erica Wheeler if nothing else, but I wouldn't take it. Marina, we're fading, so we already talked about that. Brittany Sykes, her line has gone up, and so I don't like that. I don't want to take these bumps, you guys. We got our money, we got in, we got out. Let's just let this game roll by us, and we'll get in on the next one when the line is something reasonable and she has a good matchup. Because I think they are going to focus on taking Marina and Sykes out of the game, and if they can do that, the tempo can't win. So they're going to double Marina, they're going to double Brittany Sykes, and force everyone else to shoot, and I don't think they'll be able to make enough shots. All right, Niara Sabally actually did have a good game, but I wouldn't expect her to do that again necessarily. I like her more than anyone else on the tempo. So like a points rebounds line at 14.5, she could miss her rebounds line and hit her points line by 1, and we would cash this. So I don't mind a points rebounds line on Niara Sabally, but I'm probably not going in on it. Let's see if we have lines for anyone else. We have Ray Burrell. She did get her looks in that last game, but I don't think we need to go in on it. Played 35 minutes. Normally she's not going to play 35 minutes, probably more like 30. And so I don't feel the need to go in on Ray Burrell. Or, yeah, anyone else. So I guess that was really quick because there's no looks. There's no edges, you guys. So I gave you the edges that I liked. Oh, we skipped Natasha Howard. Let's just look really quick. Natasha had that great game, but I don't think she has that good game here against Camila Cardoso, who's going to just be blocking her the whole time. But rebounds, same. Like, I just don't think she's going to pull down this many rebounds with Camila Cardoso there to effectively grab most of them. So yeah, we don't need to go on Natasha Howard either. All right, that's it, you guys. Hopefully you have a great day on Sunday, and then hopefully we'll have a great week next week. Just like this week, we had an incredible week. So don't forget to get in for the cash prize giveaway. Like the video, hype the video, leave that like, and then leave that comment to get in. All right, thanks, guys.